So let's start to look how to update the datasets in Chart.js 4. So the first thing what we need to do is we have here our file, but we need to get the border template, which you can find here on chartjs3.com getting started, and this link you can find as well in the description box. Once you're on here, just copy this chunk of code, and then we're going to just paste that in there. I'll just cut out this item, put the title in here, save, refresh. Alright, so now we have this. What we want to do now is this data set, eventually we want to replace this with something else. So to do this, all we need to do is we need to understand how we can access the object. So the chart object is this one here, and what we can do is basically like this. Say chart object or my chart, that's the object's name. Then we're going to say where do we want to go. From here, we basically want to go directly jump into the data of this chart object. And in the data, we go to the data sets. And here we can select which index number we want to change. In this case, we only have one index number because it's an array. As you can see, here is the bracket. And this index number is index 0. So let's start to work on this. We're going to say here, data.datasets. And then we say index 0. Then we say equal. And then what I will do is I'll just copy this entire chunk of code, but then we're going to do some adjustments on that. And that will replace basically these values here. So once we do this, I'm going to just put in here, remove all the colors except for one, which is the black color. Then I will say here, this will be the black sales. And then we're going to say here, 3, 3, 3, 6, 3, 3. And I'll make this, 3, 3 again, 3 and 3. So if I save this, of course nothing will happen because we didn't update the chart yet. So what I'm going to do is make sure we update this by saying my chart dot update. Save, then refresh, and you can see here now it immediately updates the values here, changes the color and changes the text in the label here. Of course, we could do something else as well. So for example, what would happen if we have this one, but we want to, instead of updating the dataset itself, we want to add a new dataset besides it. So we have two datasets. All we have to do now is just change our approach. We can say here, instead of datasets index 0, we're going to say here dot, and then we're going to say here push. And what we want to do now is push all these values in there. So once we do this, make sure we have the parentheses here and remove the equal sign, save that, refresh. What is happening now? Now it pushes the dataset after the first dataset. Pushing will make sure that the dataset will be added after the existing dataset. If we want to make sure that it will be at the very front, what we can do here is instead of push, we can say unshift. Save this, refresh, and now you can see it changes. First we add up the black values, and then we add up the colorful values here. So basically now we just put it in front of any other dataset value.